Hey you guys, it's Peter, and welcome to my channel, Peterisms, where I tell stories of my life and just little things that I have learned as I've grown into the person that I am today. And I had planned to come outside because my husband is doing like a Zoom conference call thing in the kitchen. And so I thought, well, it's a beautiful day outside. You can see like the leaves are blowing back and forth, and I looked outside. It looked like it was really, really warm, and I hadn't been outside yet. And it is actually like 45 degrees out here, so I had to put a coat on to come outside. But I wanted to read some nighttime meditations today because I haven't done that in a long time, where I just did a whole meditation video dedicated to reading nighttime meditations. So I wanted to go into the book Nightlight by Amy Dean, a book of nighttime meditations, and maybe read one or two of those in here. And then I wanted to also go into A Mindful Evening, complete each day with a calm mind and an open heart. I love this book so much. It was sent to me. Because, you know, every night when I do my vlog, I talk about how at the end of our day, you know, to do like a little inventory of what our day looked like, you know, the last 24 hours that we've been up, or the last 12 hours or whatever, and then look at, you know, like asking ourselves some questions, you know, just for today. Have I been kind? Do I owe anybody an amends? You know, have I been forgiving? To ask ourselves those questions on a daily basis. But then also to do some daily affirmations with ourselves, and to, you know, like as we're doing like our kind of like nighttime ritual, to, you know, look at ourselves in the mirror and say, you know, I love you, you know, you are a good person, you are valuable, you matter. And then I always say before I go to bed, you know, tomorrow is going to be an amazing day. It's going to be full of opportunity and positivity and laughter, and tomorrow I'm going to be happy, joyous, and free all day long. And if tomorrow I get off track, I can start my day over whenever I want. And it always helps me kind of end the day on a positive note, to kind of think that way going into the next day. In the past, I have been somebody that has kind of scripted out what the next day is going to look like, and especially if I have something that I don't necessarily want to do or I'm worried about, you know, like I always completely stress out about it, and then it affects my sleep because I lay there in bed and I'm like, oh my god this, and oh my god that, and blah, 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 whatever, you know, instead of allowing myself to get like a restful sleep, which if you know me, I go to bed really, really late anyway. So my sleep is important to me, and it's always important for me to kind of like go to bed, you know, like with a restful mind, with peace and serenity in my heart. And so I try to do that every night before I go to bed. So this meditation book is a really good way to go in and like finish your day with, you know, if you do like a gratitude list, like, you know, a lot of people do at the end of the day. I did it for a very, very long time. Every night I would do a gratitude list and I would read it out loud to myself, or if you do prayers and meditations before you go to bed like I do, and then, you know, doing some other things. But to also like maybe like pick a meditation book that's specifically for the evening and read it before you go to bed, I think is really, really helpful. So I want to go in here. I haven't read this in a long time, so I'm going to go over here in the last just couple days and see what the meditation book has to say. May 6th. It has never been and never will be easy work, but the road that is built in hope is more pleasant to the traveler than the road built in despair, even though they both lead to the same destination. Marion Zimmer Bradley. Think for a moment about a city nearby. Now picture the many roads that lead to that city. One may be a winding road, one may be an expressway. No matter which one is taken, it will still reach the same destination. But what will matter is how pleasant the journey is along the way. Before we entered the program, we probably traveled on the road marked despair. We didn't know that there were other roads for our journey. But the program has taught us there are many roads to recovery: strength, hope, peace, happiness, caring, and love. As long as we keep recovery as our destination, we may choose to travel any road of the program we like. If we've traveled today on the road called despair, we can change our road tonight to one of hope. As long as the program is our destination, we need not worry about losing our way. Which road will I travel tonight? Where will this road lead me? I think it's such a great meditation, you know, and it makes me think of that, you know, that motto that it's not the journey, it's it's not the destination, it's the journey, you know, and then years later, I think it was Nissan that came out for some ad for like the Pathfinder or something that said the journey is the destination. But I think it's really, really true, you know, no matter how trite that is, to say that the journey is the destination. And you know, what's really sad about that is I think it took me till I was like in my mid-30s to really realize that it wasn't about the getting there or the succeeding of the goal, which all of that is fantastic, isn't it? You know, it's like, but it's the preparation. And it's like, if you think about going on a trip, for me sometimes, as much as it drives me crazy while I'm doing it, you know, the packing and the getting ready and planning it and the list and the, you know, all of that kind of stuff, that is a huge part of traveling that I really, really do enjoy, is the preparation for it. And then also, you know, like, I always say this, that I can't really relax excuse me, I can't really relax until I'm like seated on a plane or in a car going to my destination, because then I can kind of like let go of everything. And, you know, that is, the traveling is part of the vacation. It's not about, you know, when I'm sitting in my hotel room or when I'm sitting by a pool or whatever, you know. And once I started figuring that out and I started realizing it's the whole thing, my travel started becoming more enjoyable. Well, life is very similar to that, and I think that if we were able to maybe enjoy the journey more instead of where we get, you know, I think that's why for so long I had really high expectations of, you know, this is how I want something to turn out. And then when it didn't, I had a resentment, because to me a resentment is an unfulfilled expectation of this is how something should have ended up. And, you know, that can be in like any kind of like, you know, business opportunity that I have, or some goal that I've set for myself. When I fall short of that, you know, I'm resentful at myself sometimes because I didn't achieve my goal. When in reality, what did I learn along the way though? You know, did I learn a lot of valuable like lessons? And that's the question I have to ask myself. You know, I think about often, I was somebody when I was younger, I was very interested in like acting and whatever, and I always wanted to be a movie star, you know? But like, you know, along the way, I've had a lot of friends of mine that have done community theater or had vocal coaches, and, you know, they're not winning Oscars, but they're very involved in like, you know, community theater, and they've got a lot of theater friends, and they're still into all of that. And like, if they had never tried, they would have missed it, you know, along the way. And the other thing, and I've said this for years too, you know, is that this is a huge reach, okay? But the difference between me and Tom Cruise is that he showed up for the audition. You know, like, not, I used to say this years ago when Tom Cruise wasn't as kind of like off the charts as he is today. But, you know, like back in the day, with like the Risky Business and, you know, all that kind of stuff, it's like, the difference is he actually showed up for the audition, you know? And how many of us don't even show up for the audition? How many of us complain about the circumstances of our lives, but we don't even participate to do anything differently? We don't even show up to try to make our lives any different. We just want to sit and complain and woe and misery and pain, you know? And I think part of the journey is learning to put one foot in front of the other and do something different. I think this is a great meditation. Okay, May 7th. Don't waste your time striving for perfection. Instead, strive for excellence, doing your best. Sir Laurence Olivier. We've all heard that even the most beautiful rose has its thorn. But as that rose was growing, the gardener didn't waste time trying to snip off the thorns. Instead, by using the right combination of sunshine, water, and nutrients, the gardener knew the rose would grow healthy and strong. We are both the rose and the gardener. We are beautiful, yet we have our thorns, our defects of character. We may have seen some of those thorns showing today, but as gardeners, we have some very special tools for our growth: the program, the 12 steps, the slogans, and the fellowship. By using these tools, we are assured of healthy growth. We will always have our thorns, but we can still be beautiful as long as we tend to ourselves with patience, love, and the proper tools. Did I try to strive for excellence today? How can I use the program to help my growth? You know, I think when I was in early sobriety, I was under this belief, and this doesn't just apply to sobriety, this applies to, you know, everybody's life, I think. But when I was in early sobriety, I think I was under the belief, maybe in the last 6 months, or the first 6 months, you know, that if I did this, and if I did that, and if I stayed sober, and I did what everybody wanted me to do, my life would be completely 100% repaired and would go back to normal. What I didn't realize was it was an evolution of sorts, that my life had never really stopped. I guess I saw it as like, here was like, you know, one part of my life, and that part stopped, and then a new part started, and then, you know, but that was really not it. It was me constantly evolving into this new person, which I'm still evolving today. You know, I say on here often that every day that I wake up, I hope to be the best version of myself that I can be today. And often by being the best version of myself, it means that I'm gonna fall on my face and make mistakes. You know, I'm going to do stupid stuff. And, you know, that's why I did not love that book, Make Your Bed, that we read for the Peterisms channel. But I loved in there where he said, mistakes make great leaders. You know, but it's what you do with that mistake. You know, it's what you do with those character defects and those flaws. Do you turn them into character strengths, or do you allow them just to like upset you and hurt you for the rest of your life? I don't want my thorns to hurt me, you know, like I want to learn from the things in my life that I make mistakes on, and I want to continue to grow and be the best version of myself that I can be on a daily basis. And I think the other thing is too, you know, is that today, I have like a toolbox full of all kinds of tools of how to get through things. You know, like I can talk to my sponsor, I can talk to my best friend, I can talk to my husband, you know, I can journal, I can make a gratitude list, I can walk outside and clear my head, I can start my day over whenever I want. I could go on and on and on with all the tools, you know, forgiveness of myself and others, you know, lowering my expectations for how life should turn out and how I think it should be. You know, I have this perfect idea of what I think the world should look like, but if the world really looked like that, how happy would I really be? You know, what would I have it to compare it to? And I think sometimes, you know, like, you don't really realize what you have until you've lost a little bit of it, if that makes sense, you know? I'm watching the TV show Schitt's Creek right now, and I absolutely adore this show. And it's about this family that has literally lost everything financially, and they're very snotty and very snobby. And they move to this small town, and what happens over the course of 6 seasons is that they get a lot of who they were at, you know, like, they get these humane characteristics back, and they see what's really important in life. And it's just this really endearing show, you know? And I think for a lot of us, that's what has to happen. And when I first got sober, you know, I basically had to be like, back to basics. So I think that's a great meditation as well. All right, now I'm going to pick one from A Mindful Evening. Complete each day with a calm mind and an open heart. Let's go through here and let's see. Let's just pick one that. Choose who you want to be. I hope I haven't read this before. I feel like I have read this before. I don't actually know which ones I've read in here. On and off a video. Okay, I stopped it because the meditation I started to read was not anything relatable to this whatsoever. So I chose another one. I hope this one is better. I didn't go in and preview it. It's called Logging Off, and it has a really pretty picture of these flowers on there. Stargazer lilies, by the way, are my favorite flowers, just in case you wanted to know. Existence in late capitalism is a permanent rite of initiation. Everyone must show that they identify wholeheartedly with the power which beats them. We are the most measured, tagged, and observed people in the course of human history. Our every movement is tracked wirelessly. We voluntarily keep track of money spent, calories consumed, steps taken. We have photos and video of nearly every day of our lives. It is only natural to feel a sense of alarm and anxiety at these rapid developments. And yet, we are made to feel as though this were all quite normal and even fun. The unacknowledged pressure to conform to this information regime is ever present and far from benign. The challenge that this regime presents to would-be meditators is to find a space of solitude and quiet in a world of noise, to find surrender and acceptance in a world driven mad with measurement. This evening, refrain from the usual status updates, log off the internet and put down your electronic devices. Sit and do nothing at all, or read a book if you must. Avoid entertainment. Resist the urge to read the news. If you must eat something, make it simple. Do everything slowly and easily. Sit outside a while. Then sit inside. Pay attention to your world. Laugh. See how long you can keep up this purposeful indolence. That's a great meditation, and, you know, one that I need to be reminded of often. You know, obviously, I have 5 YouTube channels, so I'm constantly on social media, and I'm filming videos and posting videos and all that kind of stuff. But I've talked a lot about the need to log off as well. And I didn't really know how much I really needed that until PP passed away in December. And then I took, you know, I think it was like 7 to 10 days where I just wasn't really on any kind of social media. I didn't make any videos. I think I made one video in a week and a half to kind of let people know what was going on. And I just completely logged off, and it was so fantastic. And, you know, at the time, like, Alex and I had gone to Mexico, and it was just every day I woke up and I wasn't consumed with my phone, and I wasn't looking to see what was going on or who was doing what. And in that time, it really didn't matter to me, you know. And I think what's interesting is that those things and those distractions to us that seem like they really matter in the grand scheme of things one day, a tragedy can occur or something, you know, can happen that affects our life and makes us look at our life in a different way, and the next day, those things just don't matter at all, you know? I'm somebody that becomes very consumed with social media, and I love it, I will tell you that. You know, even though I make jokes about it, I'm on it a lot. I love Instagram, I love Goodreads. I don't so much love Facebook and Twitter. I find them to be somewhat toxic at times, but I do participate in them. And but, you know, I have learned to be able to get on and then sign off when I need to sign off and just take some time to myself. Audiobooks are a great way for me, even though that's still my phone, you know, my device, to just sit there and listen, or to just sit outside on a beautiful day like it is today. You know, when I sit outside like this, and you can hear the birds, and you can hear, like, the wind is really loud. I don't know if you guys can hear it on camera, but it's really loud today, and it actually, this reminds me more of a fall day than it does a spring day. it makes me feel very small in the entirety of the world, but at the same time, it makes me feel part of something greater than myself. And that's something that I'm looking for. Is not something that's going to be found, you know, in 144 characters on Twitter, or on a Facebook post, or in an Instagram picture. It's much more real than any of that. And as much as I love all of that, and I consume my time with it, sometimes way too much, I think in the grand scheme of things, this, and the people that we spend our time with, and doing things that aren't necessarily logged in, is, you know, more important in the grand scheme of things. And so it is really important to learn to log off and take some time. And, you know, I do it every single day. There's several hours throughout the day where I'm just, you know, gonna just listen to some music, or I'm just gonna, like, you know, sit here and read a book. And I've been, like, into graphic novels lately, which is crazy. Or just do a facial. I'm somebody that has really learned, you know, before all this happened, I would drive around a lot, to just sit in silence. Like, I adore silence today. You know, I adore just logging off and just having total silence. I've gotten used to it. At first, it was very, very uncomfortable. But today, I enjoy the silence. So, anyway, let me know what you think about those meditations. I hope you guys are having a great evening. I love you, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.